Yeah. What is good, my people? This is Run It Back Philly. I am DJ Eastwood. This is Romp 2.0, Sixers Talk with Romp, or at official Romp on Twitter. And you can follow me on Twitter, the brand new official Run It Back Philly page on Twitter, at Run It Back Philly. Hit the like button on this stream, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of these. The Philadelphia 76ers take care of the Lakers 105-87. Without LeBron James, he woke up with a sore knee, reports tell us. So we knew that it should be a pretty easy win for the Sixers, and it really, like, they controlled the game the whole time. A battle between Joel Embiid and Anthony Davis. It was pretty entertaining to watch. I guess the storyline is that Joel Embiid had a bad game, an off game, and finished with 26, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists, a triple-double watch for Joel Embiid on a bad game. Yeah, Rob, give me your initial thoughts of what you just watched. Oh, I got your mic muted. My bad. Here we go.
I just want to say the Lakers are just a bad team. Holy shit. Like, oh my God. No one can make a shot besides Anthony Davis. He played a hell of a game. You got to give him credit. But these people are like, oh, Anthony Davis is better than him, better than Embiid fully healthy. Well, Embiid's getting triple teamed, double teamed, quadruple teamed all night long, while he's going one-on-one against Anthony Davis for most of the night. Towards the second half, we kind of started doubling him. But yeah, Anthony Davis played well, but this whole narrative that he like outplayed Embiid like insanely just needs to stop, because it's just not true. I mean, Embiid had 7 assists. He was getting double teamed. He took what the defense was giving him. And when he had one-on-one opportunities, he took Anthony Davis to the hole, got fouled, and got to the better of him. And Anthony Davis did the same thing to him. So just both elite players.
Yeah, I thought it was a good battle. There was definitely times where Embiid, like when he had to, when he really wanted to, he just moved him the hell out of his way. So, it's not really a competition when it comes to like physical strength under the basket. Nobody in the world can stop Joel Embiid when he gets under there. Anthony Davis played a great game, had some tough fadeaway jumpers, doing what he does. I guess this was his first game back in a long time, right? So for him to put on a performance like that after not playing for a while is pretty impressive. It was fun to watch. I didn't even think Joel Embiid was having a bad game until I really looked at the stat sheet in the third quarter, and I was like, wait, he only has 18 points. I guess that's how jaded we are now with him scoring 40, 50, 38, and 15, that when he only has 20 points going into the third quarter, you're like, what the hell is going on? But that's just how amazing Joel Embiid is right now this season. I guess, like, when he has a game like this, we sit here and say, who's going to step up? And players stepped up at the right times. They did try their best to blow the lead in the fourth quarter. One point. At one point, it did start to come down to like 12 points, 13. And I was getting nervous, and I tweeted, the Sixers aren't actually about to blow this 20-point lead, are they? Because I've tweeted that before during games, and then like replied to myself and said I should have saw this coming. But Joel Embiid came back in as usual with about 6 minutes left and put the team on his back and took care of the rest of the game. So, I mean, I had fun watching it. What do you think about, so, like, Danny Green comes back. This is his first game back. I know, we're hot and cold on him a lot. He comes out firing and just, like, makes some threes, and it's huge for him and Niang off the bench. 14 from Niang and 9 from Danny Green off the bench. And Matisse Thybulle had some amazing defensive plays.
I mean, it was one of those rare games where, like, all the Sixers role players are playing well. I mean, Matisse Thybulle had a terrific game. Niang did his thing. He's usually consistent. Danny Green played well in the first half, but in the second half, he was bricking. I still don't trust him. I would like him off the team because just the way he moves, he kind of looks like a grandpa out there. It's nerve-wracking watching him play. He is really smart on defense, though. It's just that he's so slow, like he can't keep up with fast players. But yeah, it was just a rare night where the Sixers bench players actually played well. And Tobias Harris, he had a good game the other night, and 10 of 15 shooting from Tobias Harris. What is going on? I mean, seriously. I doubt he keeps it up because, I mean, this is just one of the games. Yeah, this is just one of the games where, you just enjoy it because these role players aren't going to be that consistent every game because you know how it is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Russell Westbrook, 20 points, but he was a minus 11 with 6 turnovers. I mean, I don't know what I just don't know what the Lakers are going to do at this point after they traded like so much to put Russell Westbrook on this team, and he's really just giving them nothing night in and night out. You would think, like with LeBron being out, he would step up. He's just like, what do you think happened to Russell Westbrook? I mean, he went from like 30-point triple doubles just 2 years ago to being like 3 assists, 4 rebounds, and a minus 11. And he's just an average like role player at this point. And he's not,
Well,
he's actually below average in crunch time. I don't know the numbers in like the fourth quarter, but he just throws up bricks when it absolutely matters the most.
well, when he was having that MVP year, his mid-range shot was like unbelievable. He was hitting that mid-range shot so consistently. And teams, you know how teams guard him, they just back off of him. And he had that whenever he wanted. And that season, he was hitting every mid range shot. But in reality, he's just a bad shooter. So once his, shooting has gotten worse and worse, his athleticism's kind of going, his driving ability's kind of going. And I feel like defenders don't really respect him anymore as they once did. So they're kind of just like, yeah, just shoot the ball. And then if you drive, whatever. I mean, I think he's in his head at this point too.
He is. He definitely is. The Lakers just don't really have much on the roster, honestly. When you look at them without LeBron James, I mean, they got they like Stanley Johnson is starting, and
Yeah.
I talk a lot about the Sixers roster and the fact that we're playing some games with Charlie Brown Jr. in the starting lineup. So it's nice that we get it is what it is with Danny Green, but like I feel like I don't appreciate certain players for what they do bring to the team. Not that he's amazing or anything, but like with this team without a 3-and-D guy like Danny Green, obviously they're better with him. I'm not saying he's amazing, but
Damn.
like the
You see
last
that?
game, Jesus.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Alex C, shout
What
out
a
to you, man.
guy.
Well,
No
Uh,
comment either. He just drops 200 like that. He's like,
Mike,
just another day, just another night,
Al-
dropping 200 donos.
Alex
That's
C
crazy.
Alex C with the mic drop.
Just end the
Alex,
stream.
yeah, I'm out, guys. Hey, Sixers beat the Lakers. Nobody's going to top Alex C's super chat. It's literally the highest super chat I've ever gotten on YouTube. So we're done. You guys have a good night. Thanks for coming through. Hit the like button on your way out. We'll see you later.
Yeah, see ya. This game doesn't matter anyway, so.
Oh man, I'm gonna leave it up there for a while. Thank you, Alex.
That's
I
crazy.
can't even say words for how much I appreciate that. I think you tried to type a message there. If you did,
Oh, yeah, he just
you
typed in chat.
okay. Where's he at? There he is. Welcome back, Eastwood. But Sixers is still nothing without Ben. Oh
No!
no, Alex. Alex. What's your Venmo? I'm giving you your $200 back, man.
That's crazy. You just ruined it.
Oh my goodness. He can't be serious, right? He did not just pay $200 to defend Ben Simmons, did he really? Well, Alex, listen, man. We're all entitled to our opinions, and I don't know what else to say. Listen, the Sixers obviously lack defense, transition speed. We lack a lot of things that Ben Simmons brought to the team, but you can't win championships with Ben Simmons. It's just the regular season doesn't matter. When you go to the playoffs, he's going to shoot you in the foot. But
I
I'm
don't
not here
know.
to.
I mean, financially speaking, I think you should start talking nice about Ben if it's going to bring you $200 donations, bro.
No, I can't do that. I can't bring myself to do that at all. But listen, we're not here to talk about Ben Simmons, all right? Alex, thank you, man. Yeah, we get certain role players back, and I think the team looks a lot better than they have. It's like missing those guys hurts us way more than sometimes we think it does. And like when we're starting guys like Charlie Brown Jr. and I mean whoever the hell else was coming off the bench in some of those games, we get Danny Green back, we get Matisse Thybulle back for the second game. Matisse Thybulle again. I tweeted a picture of him dunking off of 2 feet, tucking it behind his head almost from the foul line. The guy's like, he's an athletic freak. And I was just like, this guy would literally be a superstar if he had any offensive skills. He he gives you 8 points. I mean, he's doing like what he can. I got to give him that. He's taking advantage of like what he's good at, and he's learning to cut to the rim. A lot of his points are coming from cutting to the rim and Joel Embiid getting assists. And defensively, he's just an animal. And he had some amazing defensive plays in this game. He just frustrates people and really gets like Westbrook, and he was all over Malik Monk at one point. And it's hard for me to I love and hate him. It's like I love him on the defensive side of the ball, and right when we cross half court, I'm like,
I don't know. I'm just scared for the playoffs when it comes to Thybulle, because coaches, if they're smart, which most of them are in the Eastern Conference, they're gonna not even guard him or do whatever they can to, make him shoot. So that's what scares me. But he had like a one play where he caught it at half court, and I was like, what? How did he do that? Do you remember that play? He caught it in midair,
yep,
like a wide receiver. The Eagles should low-key scout him. Holy shit!
Imagine that. He is what, 6'6"? He would be a freak of a wide receiver in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's his length and his speed and instincts are actually crazy, and it's like offensive players can't predict it. You think you have a wide open pass, and then Matisse Thybulle just jumps from the logo at half court. And you're like, what the hell? How did that get intercepted? But just a freak athlete. This team's hard to figure out sometimes with like what our offensive plan actually is outside of giving the ball to Joel Embiid on the block. I still don't think we necessarily.
That is the plan. That's all it is.
Right, but that's why when he sits on the bench, we blow leads, because what do we do when he's on the bench?
There's a point in the third quarter, I think it was the third quarter, where Maxey was getting hot, and I was like, please just run the offense through Maxey. And then they started to do it, and then once again, they just went away from him. It's like, dude, just let him rock. I don't care that he's 5 for 14. Because when he drives to the paint, usually something good happens. Also, he had 10 assists somehow. That's pretty
exactly.
crazy.
I saw that when I first brought this up before we came on, and I was like, he had 10 assists? I got to go rewatch the highlights. Because I don't remember seeing 10 assists from Tyrese Maxey. But listen, 14, 10, and 7 from Tyrese Maxey is a pretty damn good effort. And he was only 5 for 14 from the field. But that's a Ben Simmons stat line right there, to be honest with you. Yeah. 14, 10, and 7, except for this part right here where he shot 6 threes. That's what you need out of your point guard.
Dude, and there was one he shot one in the corner, and his form was the best I've ever seen. And I was like, that shot's going in. And I never have said that about Tyrese Maxey, where I saw the shot and I was like, that is immediately going in. I was like, dude, he's getting confident in that shot. I don't want to trade him. I don't want to get James Harden because it's going to take away from Tyrese Maxey developing. I'd rather just get a young backcourt with Tyrese Haliburton and Tyrese Maxey, because Tyrese Haliburton has the ability to play off ball with my boy Maxey. Look at what Maxey's doing in his second season. You're going to give that up because you want to get a 33-year-old who's going to dribble. James Harden and Embiid, great duo, but I just believe in Maxey so much for some reason.
I think the issue is trying to predict how long Joel Embiid's going to play the game, because you're trying to win.
That's true.
While Joel Embiid's in his prime, so it's it's a struggle to try to figure it out, because you don't want to get rid of young guys that. Tyrese Maxey could be a stud in a couple of years. Who knows? And I think in the past couple of games, it's really looking like he's becoming more aggressive, more confident. 14 field goal attempts, 6 3-point attempts. I love that from Tyrese Maxey. He had the most 3-point attempts on the team, next to George Niang and Danny Green. Danny Green had 7 somehow in 16 minutes.
I respect Danny Green's ability to shoot bad shots. He does not give a damn. Every time he's in transition alone, it's going up. Yep. Every time.
All right, KZ. This is the only comment I'm giving you. From now on, you got a super chat for me to read your comments, literally, because every comment you put in here is stupid. So I'm never reading another comment unless you're gonna drop a $2 or something. The dumbest comment I heard this year came from this channel when a dude in a baseball cap Max Kellerman looking eyeballs and a caveman beard said that the Sixers are trash without Embiid. What? I don't want to ruin the show. I really don't. But everyone in the chat, are the Sixers trash without Embiid? Yes or no? Literally in the chat right now, are the 76ers this year trash without Embiid?
No.
How can we argue this?
Oh,
this team is horrendous without Joel Embiid.
I meant absolutely. I don't know why I said no. How
could anyone
I had
argue?
A brain fart.
How could anyone argue? This team is horrible without Joel Embiid. What is this guy talking about? As soon as he sits on the bench, they almost blow a 20-point lead in like 45 seconds, and he has to come back in again.
Dude, Doc Rivers put in a lineup without Maxey or Embiid, and I was like, please just put Maxey back in, or at least put Embiid. He like has to wait till 7 minutes to insert Embiid back in the game in the fourth quarter. It's so annoying.
Yeah, it's becoming every game now. It's becoming every game he has to wait in the fourth quarter and just kind of see. You see it start to happen, and he's like, all right, they're blowing the lead. But like they had that little. They just like, I don't know what they do. They all of their brains turn off. You got like Tobias Harris had 2 horrible turnovers in the fourth when that lead was starting to like, it's like everything bad happens at the same time and you can just feel it happening. And Doc Rivers is like, timeout, and Embiid back in the game. Yeah.
Is Matisse Thybulle untradeable? Because I'm seeing a lot of that on Twitter right now.
Not at all. Listen, first of all, I think Tobias Harris playing 2 good games in a row. Hot take right now. We got to trade Tobias Harris before Saturday.
Oh, yeah. We got to get him out of here. Please get him out of here.
Sell him high. Listen, Sacramento, if anyone's watching this from Sac, I don't know why you would be, but Tobias Harris has 56 points in 2 games. Okay. So you want him on your team. I know he's $180 million contract, but you want Tobias Harris on your team, so you should make the trade. Okay. And I don't think Matisse Thybulle is untradeable. I think we love our own players. It's just like Eagles fans when I said we should trade Zach Ertz while he still has value like 2 years ago, and they were all in the Facebook group coming at me like I'm some kind of satanic maniac for even considering. No, he won us the Super Bowl. He did this. He did. I don't care. I'm talking about getting like a player. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. You gotta try to build a championship team, and you're gonna have to give up stuff, especially if you want a team to take Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons. All right, so LeBron James. Let me see if I can wait. Where'd this go here? LeBron James. Last time he was in Philly, pushed Joel Embiid onto the floor and hurt him, and Embiid was out for, I don't remember how many games he was out after that, but it was a cheap shot. It was a cheap shot by LeBron James. And so we're all anticipating LeBron James coming back to Philly, and he's out of this game with a sore knee. Last night he was playing in Brooklyn and he looked fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he tweets this. When it was announced that he's out, he tweets angry faces and face palm emojis because he doesn't want everyone. Yeah, exactly. Like,
why?
Yeah. If you had a sore knee and they listed you as out, why wouldn't you just not do anything? He had to put this out there because I have a lot of thoughts about LeBron James, and he cares what everyone thinks about him.
Yep.
So he had to put this out there to make sure everyone knew he was upset that he wasn't in the game and that he wasn't ducking and he wasn't avoiding. But
he definitely was avoiding him. I'm gonna be honest.
If they would have, announced his name, the arena would have booed like crazy, and it would have been fun. It would have been fun to watch. They would have booed him every time he touched the ball because Philly fans don't forget anything.
Yeah, I think Joel Embiid was like kind of lackadaisical to start off the game because he was probably like he was looking forward to playing LeBron because Joel Embiid's pretty petty. So he probably had that in the back of his mind. I'm about to destroy him. Plus, LeBron's been in the MVP conversation. So I think Embiid was a little disappointed he didn't play, and that's why he was lackadaisical in the beginning.
And yeah, I think so too. Did you hear Shaq's comments on Ben Simmons?
I saw it, but I didn't hear it, but I kind of know what he said. I just looked at the quotes. I didn't see the
All right.
clip. But he's been roasting him. I respect Shaq so much because I remember when he used to roast the fuck out of Joel Embiid, and now that like Joel Embiid has taken the next step in his career, he's just giving him all the props in the world. So shout
Yeah,
out to Shaq.
exactly. And that's why he said this, because he's like, I criticized Joel Embiid and he took it and, improved his game and whatever. And, he called him his soft partner. He didn't say his name. Called him his soft partner, and he called him a crybaby, and it's
The
great.
difference between him and his soft partner is he can take criticism without being a crybaby, and he still wants to play. Because me and Charles, we've been on him. We stay on him. We tell him to his face what he needs to do. He didn't cry. He didn't say, I want to be traded. He didn't.
Did you catch the TNT crew after the game interviewing Joel Embiid?
No, I didn't.
Bro, like you could just tell like how proud they are. Like Charles and Shaq look like proud dads interviewing him. Like they were giving him all the credit in the world. And Embiid said he played like trash, and then they were like, nah, you didn't play like trash. You were taking what the defense was giving you. You could just tell like, and then they basically were saying, yeah, he's taking that next leap as a superstar, especially as a leader.
He absolutely is. And for how many games in a row now I've witnessed Joel Embiid, something I never thought I would see him do, which is like direct an offense and make passes. That's like Joel Embiid's already a superstar. If he starts running an offense and facilitating like somewhat of a Nikola Jokic. I'm not going to say he would ever be the level of passer that Nikola Jokic is or anything like that, but any type of like passing ability for Joel Embiid is just another like weapon in his arsenal, because you have to double and triple team him to stop him. If he's suddenly throwing cross court passes and skip passes and wrap around passes under the basket, like how the hell do you stop this guy? It's crazy.
And if he continues to develop that, his game is going to age even better because he's got the shooting touch, he's got the footwork and all that stuff. His handle's getting better. He's not like diving on the floor as he once was. So I feel like he has a lot left in the tank. I feel like he has a good 5 to 7 years, if I'm being honest. Because
Right.
like the last couple injuries have just been like fluky stuff. Like that Washington Wizards injury where he dunked the ball and just landed awkwardly. Like that was kind of a fluky injury, You can't really prepare for that. The things like that are going to happen.
Yeah.
People diving on your foot or whatever. You can't avoid that no matter how well your diet is or whatever, how good a shape you are in. So it's just basically how lucky we are. That's what's going to dictate how much Joel has left.
That's for sure. Look at the schedule. What we got next? How many home
We
games
got
we
the
got in a row here?
Kings. We got the Kings next at home. And then we got the Grizzlies January 31st. I think we're in Memphis, so we're probably going to lose that game.
That'll be interesting because Memphis is on a tear and they just have a complete team with an MVP level point guard running the show at this point. Andy Walker, thanks for supporting the channel. Tobias is trash with his stage 3 Danny Green jumper.
What?
Ben Simmons can't play basketball without getting his nails done. Joel Embiid is the man. Wow.
Chat's on something tonight.
Yeah, the chat is wilding. The chat is really happy when the chat's wild when you beat the Lakers, I guess, even without Joel Embiid. I mean, even without LeBron James. I guess the chat's wild when you beat the Lakers. Ben Simmons can't play without getting his nails done. Shaq did not hold back, man. And how do you think Ben Simmons cares? That's the crazy thing about him. Like, I think he is just the most unfazed person I've ever seen in my life. I actually think he's unfazed by anything. He has some of the greatest basketball players of all time insulting him on national TV.
Kobe did it too.
What did he do?
Kobe said he's not going to be anything if he doesn't get a jump shot.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's not going to take that next step.
Yeah, Kobe said that in that. Yeah, I saw that before. That was more of like a him giving him advice at the
Yeah.
time and stuff like that. This is like I respect. He was like, I respect him. Unlike his soft partner, because he can take criticism without being a crybaby. And he said he doesn't run away and ask for a trade because his coach answered a question funny at the end of the season. He ripped him to shreds on national TV, man. And I just think like, what do you think? Is Ben Simmons even sitting here watching basketball games? Does he care at all?
Nah. Dude, he has his circle of friends are just a bunch of yes men based on how he's handling the situation, because what Shaq is saying is what his friend should be saying. Just accept the consequences and come back, whatever. You're not going to get your way, so show them that you're better than them and they need you, and come back and, you know, prove that you're a top 20 player or whatever you were in your prime. Prime Ben Simmons. I'm saying prime Ben Simmons now. That's crazy.
His prime was his rookie year. That's the sad part. His prime was his rookie year. Some fans got ejected from the game for coming at Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, that's going to be a story for 2 weeks, how Philly fans are the worst in the world.
Oh, right when I went to Twitter. There we are. NBA Twitter reacts to 76ers fan being ejected for reportedly taunting Carmelo Anthony. Now it's going to be trash fan base, worst fans in the world.
Yeah, it's annoying.
George Niang on Joel Embiid. Did you see that game? I would consider him a point center.
Oh,
If I was on the other team, I wouldn't get in his way either. Wow. That's a huge step for Joel Embiid to be called a point center by one of his teammates. He's completely unstoppable, man. I don't even know what else to say about it. We'll take some phone calls. As soon as I find it. There's the phone number. Call the show. Give us your thoughts. Give us your thoughts on Ben Simmons getting ripped by Shaq on national TV. Give us your thoughts on LeBron James ducking Joel Embiid. Did Anthony Davis outplay Joel Embiid? Is that true?
He had 26, 9, 7, and 2 blocks. Like,
that's the crazy part.
People don't realize half of Anthony Davis, like, he was making tough shots on Embiid, but some of those in the pick and roll, I mean, the perimeter defense was just horrible. And Embiid was put in horrendous situations.
Yeah, seriously. I guess like the defining factor here is that players made shots when we needed them to make shots, and that's the thing with this team. It's just it's here and then it's not. Like we either do that or we don't. We either win like that or we almost lose to bad teams because nobody can step up. So it's just really inconsistent from the role players that we have right now.
Also, I think Embiid is just so used to like guarding trash centers like Cody Zeller, all those, because there's not really a lot of elite centers who could do what Anthony Davis can do, and Embiid hasn't faced anyone like that this year, so that probably caught him off guard. Plus, he's been carrying a trash squad for like, you know, he's averaging 40 points over the last 3 games, and you could tell he was tired tonight. I mean, he was missing free throws. He was on his knees, like he was looking lethargic out there.
Yeah, Embiid was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And I it looks like he was holding his wrist at one point too when he was at the foul line. And again, I think I noticed the same thing that I noticed last game. Like the first half, he's kind of just letting guys do wide open layups in the paint and stuff. He's not really playing hard defense, but I think it's because he knows it's probably going to come down to the wire, and I'm probably going to have to pull everything out in the fourth quarter, and I'm going to have as much energy as I can have. I really think he like load manages himself during the game. Here we go. Carmelo Anthony was fuming at a couple of Sixers fans. They were reportedly calling the Lakers star boy with taunts such as "get in the corner, boy," and "keep shooting, boy." Yeah, that's. I mean, I understand the perspective that he's coming from.
That's not good.
Like it depends. I guess it doesn't depend.
I was not there, so I don't know.
let's just say they were of fairer skin, using the word boy to Carmelo Anthony. I'm okay with them getting thrown out of the game. Like, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Anyway,
Move on.
Shaq said great players get criticized, but the great players also step up to the criticism and perform. I don't respect him.
Damn.
I would get rid of him. Oh man. Yeah, I didn't want to even touch that topic, and I shouldn't have. And now you guys are going to talk about it in the chat, and there's
We're
going to
gonna
be
get canceled.
Yeah, I was trying to take a middle ground on the topic, but I know why Carmelo Anthony would be mad about that, and it's not about the word specifically; it's about how the word is said and who's saying it and things like that. I get it. No, it's not. That's not what it is, bro. It's not what it is. It's not what it is, man. It's like, never mind. I'm just not going
move
there.
on.
Somebody in the chat just say it. Like, somebody just say it. Anyway. How come every time the Sixers play the Nuggets, Embiid is out? I'm pretty sure the last time the Sixers played the Nuggets, Jokic was out.
Bro, why are Nuggets fans so obsessed with that?
Am I wrong?
swear,
I'm pretty sure the last time the Sixers played the Nuggets, Jokic was out.
It's like I don't get like why. Like, I swear people on Twitter just love to argue Jokic versus Embiid. Like, honestly, I don't care. If it comes up, I'll talk about it, but like I'm not going out of my way to just talk about it every day. I see it every day on Twitter. It's like just enjoy both of them. They're fucking freaks. We're never gonna see anything like it.
People can't do that.
It's not that deep.
People can't do that because it's your team. So your player is automatically the best player to ever play, and the other player is automatically like the worst player ever. That's the problem. Sixers fans that say Jokic is trash, don't watch Jokic play. Nuggets fans that say Embiid is trash, don't watch Embiid play. And then they'll just look at a box score and talk about how many free throws he had.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing. If Embiid made his free throws tonight, he would have had like 33, 35. But he was just bricking free throws for some reason.
On a bad game.
Bad game.
On a bad game.
Even Sixers fans were like, he's playing like trash on Twitter. I'm like, dude, chill. We're up by 15 points. Just relax, sit back and enjoy.
He has to average 40 points to for everyone to be happy, I guess. Like, we are completely spoiled at this point, man. Completely spoiled.
It's crazy.
All right. So somebody asked in the chat earlier, what do you think of Andrew Wiggins being an all-star starter?
That's ridiculous. The fact that the Suns don't have a starter and they're like 38-9 with CP3 and Devin Booker is crazy. I mean, Devin Booker's been averaging like 38 over his last 3 games. And you're putting Andrew Wiggins, who's averaging 18 points a game. Are you kidding me? They got to get rid of the fan vote. That's for sure.
They have to.
It's ridiculous.
This got to be the final straw for the fan vote, because, I mean, come on, man. Like, okay, the Eastern Conference, DeMar DeRozan. Not that the All-Star game even matters. Like, who really gives a shit? To be honest, like, it's a NFL Pro Bowl. Nobody even goes to the game. Who cares? But it's just it's not about the game, I guess. Like, it's not about playing the game. It's about who's named the starter, because you want them to get what, recognized for what they did the whole season. So the East, DeMar DeRozan, Trae Young, Kevin Durant, Giannis, Embiid. And the West is Steph Curry, John Morant, LeBron James, Jokic, and Andrew Wiggins. That blows my mind.
Andrew Wiggins.
Because he's having a good season for Andrew Wiggins standards, but like 18 points a game. And like you said, players on the Suns team, there's other players that are doing more than Andrew Wiggins. That an all-star starter.
This is why the NBA will never surpass the NFL, because their media sucks. First of all, how does the NBA not have their own version of the NFL Red Zone? How do they not have that? Imagine there's like a TV, thing you could get, and once the game goes to the last 2 minutes, they just start switching to the last 2 minutes of every game because they put like 8 games on at 7 p.m. You can't keep up with every game. But if you get a service like NFL Red Zone has for the NBA, then other people from other markets will actually get to watch Jokic. They'll actually get to watch Devin Booker in clutch situations. So it's like the NBA does a terrible job at like expanding their whatever it is, and their media is terrible. Like, how is it? I'm fed up.
I agree. I think part of the problem is that West Coast games come on Eastern time TV at 10 o'clock at night. So, a lot of people that work 9 to 5s or whatever are going to bed at 10 o'clock. So that's part of the issue. That's probably why my guy Swipe Cam said the Jokic era, and I felt like that was crazy. But I don't live in an area where I see Jokic play basketball every day, and they don't live in an era where they see Joel Embiid play basketball every day. So it's an argument that's never going to get anywhere because, like, we're never going to agree on that. I do think that stretching the numbers, you can stretch numbers to make anybody look at least closer to how you want them to look compared to somebody. But at the end of the day, listen, okay, they posted on Twitter that Nikola Jokic, not they, I'm just going to say, Swipe a Cam. I love the dude, but we go at it, all right? He posted on Twitter that Jokic is by far, by the numbers, the best post player in the game because he shoots a higher percentage per post up, and you know what I mean? There was certain fine analytics that went into this. And I just looked at the same stats that he put up, and I looked at post points per game. Joel Embiid 9.6, Jokic 5. He almost doubles his post points per game. And his scoring rate in the post is like a 56%, and Jokic is like a 51, meaning he scores 55% of the time when he catches the ball in the block. We're not even talking about a shooting percentage. We're not even talking about he scores 55% when he shoots it. We're talking about 55% of the time he catches the ball in the post, he scores. How is that not? And nobody's close. Dude, he's 9.6 post points per game. The closest is Jokic at number 2 at 5. He almost doubles the second guy. It's not even close. Like Joel Embiid is the most dominant post player in the game right now and one of the most dominant post players of all time. It's not an argument. But they're two different players. That's all I say, man. They're two different players.
That's what annoys me on Twitter. The advanced stats are getting out of control. I'm sorry if Swipe a Cam's watching. I had to mute him on Twitter just because I don't like seeing that advanced stats stuff. It kind of pisses me off at times. But that was entertaining stream with you and him.
Yeah, I just think like if I comment on, something that he says, I just get like 10,000 Nuggets fans telling me I'm an idiot. And the same thing happens the other way around. You know what I mean? If he comments on something, Sixers fans come at him and call him an idiot. So we're not, we're not getting anywhere. But I'll bring him back on. Maybe I'm going to go on his channel next time. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go on his channel and see how nice the Nuggets fans are, when I say things, because I actually thought the Sixers fans on this channel were pretty nice for the wild things that he was saying about the Jokic era.
The Jokic era. Hey, bro, I'm that bad with Joel Embiid at times too. I'll be like, he's the best. He's the most skilled center of all time. So it happens.
Elliot, what's up, man? My 2 favorite YouTubers. Thanks, bro. Appreciate that.
Thank you. I would love to see Embiid in the Nuggets offense because they actually cut. He sets screens. He's always moving around screening. He's not just, posting up. They're actually moving him around. And Mike Malone actually does stuff to make the game easier for Jokic and get switches on him, while I feel like most of our offense is just, post up at the 3-point line and go get a bucket or do everything, cause a double team. There's no creativity in Doc Rivers' offense, but the Nuggets, it seems like there's more creativity.
Right, because I think that team is built the right way. Like
Yeah,
that team is built to like maximize Jokic's skills. Joel Embiid's team has never been built the right way. So that, when we talk about Jokic in the playoffs and things like that, like Joel's never had the right team around him. He still doesn't have the right team around him. So you're right. Embiid on that team would be interesting. We got a live caller. What's going on? You're on Run It Back Philly.
What's up, gentlemen? How you doing?
Good. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Great win tonight. I completely agree with what Shaq had to say about Ben Simmons.
Absolutely.
Man. Yeah, guy's super soft. He's hurting this franchise big time, as we know it. I don't know whether or not Daryl Morey is going to make a big move before the trade deadline in 2 weeks. But I was just curious, who are some guys out there that you would think that would be under the radar sort of trade? Maybe like a bench player, somebody that really could come in and give us some aggressiveness and toughness that I think we're lacking, and we've been lacking for a couple of years now. Obviously, I think we need a backup point guard because Furkan is completely garbage. And I completely agree that when Joel sits down on the bench, that it should be Maxey time.
Go ahead, Romp. Give us some sleeper players off the top of your head.
I think the Kings have a bunch of players. I think Harrison Barnes would just help with some veteran leadership and just being a player who will catch the ball and just make a quick decision, whether it's passing, shooting. I know the T-Wolves have been linked to Ben Simmons for a while. I don't think we would make a deal for with them, but a guy like Jared Vanderbilt who has kind of made their defense elite all of a sudden. He hustles. He's like 6'9", I think. He's a guy who could really help this team. He's kind of like the Matisse Thybulle of the Timberwolves, but a little taller. So, like, getting him in a package, I don't know, like D'Lo, Jared Vanderbilt, and a bunch of their role players. Malik Beasley would be cool, too, on the Sixers. And then going back to the Kings, I think Buddy Hield, you saw what Seth Curry is with Joel Embiid. Without Joel Embiid, Seth Curry was kind of just like a sixth man, seventh or eighth man. Now he's a starter in the league. So if you get Buddy Hield, who's at the top of the league in three-pointers made and three-pointers attempted, their dribble handoff game is unbelievable. Is going to be unbelievable. Buddy Hield's a little taller. I feel like he'll be a good defender on the Sixers. He doesn't try on defense because he's on the Kings. So I think Buddy Hield could average like 18 to 20 points on the Sixers. So
Eric Gordon. About the name Reggie. Cool. What about the name Reggie Jackson?
Oh,
from the Clippers.
I'll take that, but I don't know if the Clippers would do that.
Well, I think they're going to be sellers at the deadline without Paul George and Kawhi Leonard.
That's true.
Yeah, they might be.
He's only $11 million on the cap. You could trade, a young player like Isaiah Joe and Danny Green, and just, that'd be even money.
I'll take Reggie Jackson.
And it's a veteran. It's a veteran point guard that can shoot and control the ball and make plays. He was part of that 35-point comeback the other night against the Wizards. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he was.
Then I think he could play point, and then you can have Maxey play off point, and that would help facilitate Maxey's offense. He wouldn't have to necessarily worry about getting everybody else involved. He can look to try to get more involved in the offense.
True.
How worried are you guys coming this postseason with the double team of Joel? Obviously, I don't think he's going to have huge. Well, who knows? The man's unstoppable. He could have 40-point games, but I really think come the playoff time, every team's going to be sending that double team. I know he had some great passes tonight, but are we worried about that? Is Matisse Thybulle going to be our the thorn in our side because he can't hit an open three-pointer to save his life right now? I know he makes some great defensive plays, but sometimes I just want to strangle the guy for not being able to hit an open basket.
Yes.
We feel you.
He's not this untradeable guy that everybody keeps saying that he is.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, he'll bite us in the ass in the postseason for sure. Because there's going to be games like this, like tonight. And if Joel plays like this in the postseason, then you're going to be like, oh, that's a bad Joel game. Because he can't play like this in the postseason with this roster. Because we'll lose. It's that simple.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, listen, the Lakers aren't good this year with LeBron James. So without LeBron James, they're bad. So you know what I mean? It's not like we beat a good team. So when you get to the playoffs, you're going to play teams that have athleticism, that can run a zone defense, that can just do what the Hornets did to us or do what the Miami Heat did to us. And without a trade that puts more athleticism on this team and better perimeter creators and shooters, you could be a first-round exit. Joel Embiid could average 40 points a game, and you could be a first-round exit, honestly.
Yeah, it's brutal. All right, gentlemen.
Thanks for the call, bro.
Have a good night.
Later.
Buddy Hield does not stink. So Sixers fans in this chat are going to tell me Matisse Thybulle was untradeable, and then they're going to tell me Buddy Hield stinks. Come on now. He's on the Kings. The Kings.
PJ Tucker versus the Nets didn't do anything but guard KD. Matisse will always have value as long as ISO play will dominate the playoffs. I agree with this, Andy. That my whole thing with Matisse Thybulle is that you can play him in spurts. You can play him for 15. You can play him for 17, 18 minutes. You can play him for 18 bench minutes. You know what I mean? Like, but this whole like Thybulle should be a starter thing. We saw what it looked like when he was starting, and we see what it looks like when he plays 30, 35 minutes and gives you 3 points. You can't have that in the playoffs. You just can't, you know what I mean? But I agree. He's insanely valuable as a bench piece because he makes plays that can alter the momentum and change the energy and everything like that. But
I mean, what does PJ Tucker do? He stands in the corner and hits threes at a great rate. So
that too. Last year he was the highest corner 3-point percentage in the entire league.
Plus KD literally probably put up like 36 in that series every game. No matter who's guarding him.
Right. Yeah. So that's another one of my arguments with him all the time. Like a player that can only play defense, he has to at least be able to shoot threes. And he's just not a 3-point shooter. It doesn't matter how much he shoots the ball. Like the law of percentages is going to do what it does. He's going to shoot 30%, 28%, whatever his whole career. I feel like
we lost the Hawks too. And why did we lose the Hawks? Because they just kept scoring and scoring and scoring. And eventually we felt the pressure of them scoring every time, of them hitting 2 threes in a row, 5 threes in a row. That offense is scary. That's why the Phoenix Suns are so deadly. Because in clutch situations, CP3 just hits a mid-range jumper. Devin Booker just hits a mid-range jumper. And the other team just can't keep up. And eventually they're going to get a stop.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the thing about Matisse is, like, I want him to at least be a 3-point shooter, but I just don't see it. People say he can develop. I would love for that to happen. It's not even just about his jump shot.
He's got the Sixers curse too. So even if he does develop it, it's most likely going to go wrong. Just how it is in Philly, you know? It's unfortunate.
And like, I don't want to keep trashing Matisse, but also defensively, he makes a lot of crazy athletic plays, and I think that stands out, right? Over top of everything. But then when you really watch the game like tonight, he got absolutely cooked by Russell Westbrook like 3 plays in a row.
I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah, because he plays up so far, and he's trying to get a steal every play, and Westbrook's just blowing right by him. And, you know, he does things like that, and that's what happened in that Atlanta Hawks series. Yeah, he shut down Trey for that one game, or him and Ben together shut him down. But eventually, Trey figured it out and was like, every time these guys play up this high, I'm going right around them. The center's going to step up. I'm throwing lobs all day. You know, so it's not just about getting steals.
It's so easy to draw fouls when you're that aggressive too, with smart players like Trae Young and other elite guards. I'd rather him just stay in front of the guy rather than go for every block and every steal. I'd rather, instead of him getting 4 steals, I'd rather 2 steals and him stopping Russell Westbrook just because he stayed in front of him.
Exactly. Like it's not all, Allen Iverson led the league in steals twice and never won defensive player of the year. You know what I mean? Because defense is more than just getting steals. But I think he's a great athlete. He's insane instinctually, and I think he's a guy that you can throw in off the bench and he'll change the energy of a game. But I just don't think he's really like a 35-minute type of player, and I don't see any offensive development out of him. That's the thing about it.
His 1-3, he was wide open, but he also had a free lane to the basket. It's like, dude, just dribble there. If you're a trash 3-point shooter, just dribble and either kick it out or dunk it. Like, you're athletic as hell. But it's like he can't even think that far ahead. He has no basketball IQ. No offense to Matisse Thybulle, but he's just all athleticism. If he had basketball IQ, oh my God, he would be unbelievable.
Absolutely. Yeah, he would take one dribble and dunk on 3 people. He's one of the most athletic people I've ever seen. He's that athletic that he's athletic enough to be in the NBA without actually knowing how to play basketball on the offensive side of the floor. That's the crazy part about it. You know how athletic you have to be like, yeah, I don't really know how to play basketball, but I'm so athletic. I'm in the NBA, and you can put me on the floor, and I'm going to make things happen, at least defensively, because I'm 6'7" with a 7-foot wingspan, and I'm quick, and I got long arms, and it's crazy. Connor, thanks for supporting the channel. Haven't heard anyone mention Korkmaz being traded.
Who's going to want him?
Yeah, that's Connor. That's honestly because Furkan Korkmaz has 0 value. Like, you can find – it's sad that he was am I right about this? He was a late first-round pick?
Yeah, like 27th or something.
My God, Furkan Korkmaz was a first-round pick in the NBA. Oh, my God, by Brian Colangelo.
Dude, it's just sad because, like I said...
You know who else he drafted in that draft? Timothé Luwawu-Cabarrot.
He's on the Hawks now. Dude.
Both of those guys came out of the first round. Yikes.
Dude, if Furkan was just a sharpshooter, he would be fine, but he can't shoot threes. Like, it kills me. Because he would be fine if he was hitting threes consistently. Because he's willing to take them. So,
he's definitely
my guy Furk let me down, man. He let me down.
Mr. Rudy Poo, the super chat. Why are we talking Matisse when we have a complete hole on both sides of the court in Dorkmaz?
I mean, at least Korkmaz could get to the rim and get to the painted area and pass. Like,
he does have some playmaking ability. He does. Like,
everyone loves to rag on Korkmaz, but he does provide things that people don't notice, and they won't give him credit just because it's Korkmaz.
Like, sometimes I see him make plays like around a screen where he anticipates the defensive rotation and makes a skip pass like before they rotate, and I'm like, wow, hold on a second. Like, he just made basically a no-look skip pass because he knew the defense was going to rotate. That's like point guard instincts, but he just shoots bricks all day. And he's not
the reason
quick
Doc
enough
Rivers
or strong enough to really be a consistent like finisher or scorer at the rim or anything.
The reason Doc Rivers puts him as the second point guard is because there's no other options. Like, who else are you going to put as the second point guard?
That's it.
Isaiah Joe, exactly. I mean, he can do it, but he's not. He's on the same level as Furk, here and there. And then, I mean, Miles Powell, if they actually give him a chance, I think maybe, but Doc Rivers isn't going to give him a chance. So that's why Furk's in that role. And he's taking on a lot of stuff that he probably can't handle because, he's unathletic and just he's Furk, He's a shooter that can't shoot.
Korkmaz was drafted before Siakam. Sixers drafted TLC after Siakam. We picked the worst players. Bust. Crazy.
We missed Shake Milton, bro. We missed Shake Milton, man.
Speaking of drafting terrible players, Bucket Getter 215 asks, why don't we give Jaden Springer a chance?
Come on now.
I think I think things like this are actually kind of self-explanatory. Like, I know it's Doc Rivers, but if he could play basketball at all, he would be on the floor when we're down players. Like, listen, Miles Powell got NBA minutes this year because he can handle the ball. He can, he can do a little bit of something at an NBA level. Like, there's a reason, Charles Bassey, Miles Powell, like Charlie Brown Jr. are there and Jaden Springer is not.
Jaden Springer, his dribbling, just the way he dribbles, it just doesn't look right to me.
He looks like a football player to me.
He just looks like another player who's going to be inconsistent with his shot and scoring.
Springer's averaging 25 in the G League. Yeah, and I mean,
Paul Reed's been averaging 50 over the last 3 years in the G League.
Paul Reed's the MVP every season. He's literally Michael Jordan of the G League. And it doesn't matter. I mean, what is the G League? It's basically the YMCA. It's a bunch of players that aren't good enough to be in the NBA. So even if you're somewhat of an NBA talent, you can average 25 in the G League. That doesn't, then you come up and you can't score. What was the dude's name that they were calling Mini KD?
Mariel Shayok.
Mariel Shayok. And they were like, why don't you bring up Shayok? Bring up Shayok. And they finally bring the guy up, and the crowd goes crazy because all the fans were calling for this guy the whole year because he was averaging 41 points per game in the G League. And he stunk. KD. And he sucked in the NBA. Yeah, I mean, it's different, man. Different.
And why are we drafting a dude with jump shot question marks after what we've been through?
That too.
I don't care about the percentage. His jump shot looks awful.
Yep. That's the thing. Like, man, like I'm glad he drafted Isaiah Joe because that's the prettiest jumper I've seen them draft in a long time.
15 minutes tonight.
But yeah, players like Jaden Springer, man, like you watch him shoot, even his college highlights, you watch him shoot a three. It looks horrible. It looks worse than, what was the other dude's name that had the peanut allergy?
Oh, Zaire Smith.
His jumper looks worse than Zaire Smith's jumper. They actually kind of look like the same player. They actually kind of look exactly like the same player.
Zaire Smith. Jesus.
Yeah, listen, you're looking for players that can contribute on Joel Embiid's going to take you to the playoffs. You're looking for players that can contribute at a high level in the NBA playoffs. So, Jaden Springer's not going to be there. He's not even going to be in the last 30 seconds of a blowout regular season game as a bad draft pick. Jaden low-key looked nice in Tennessee. I don't know what to say about it.
See, you can't criticize Korkmaz and then be saying things like that. It's not consistent. You know
Nicholas
what I'm saying?
Batum.
I'll take him. He'd be better than Tobias. People are gonna be like, "Oh, did you just say that?" Yeah, I did.
Are we expecting has Tobias overplayed his hand here with two really good games back to back? Are we expecting a steep fall off in the next game?
It's I don't like how he plays. I don't like his style.
Are we gonna get? I don't either. I mean, I watch it and I'm like, here we go. He's gonna post up for 7 minutes. It feels like 7 minutes. It's the whole shot clock, but it feels like 7 minutes. It makes me mad. I don't like watching it. I want the offense to be faster and more fluid. And here's Tobias at the top of the key, backing his man down. Joel's standing in the corner. The entire shot clock is going to Tobias Harris trying to get this mid-range fadeaway jumper off. And it works in games like tonight when he's making it or whatever, but there's definitely games where you're like, oh my God, here we go again. And he ends up 3 for 11 or whatever else. So I'm not getting too high.
He's not consistent at making contested shots, and that's all he shoots at. All he shoots is contested mid-range jumpers and floaters, and I don't know, that dude, it feels like he shoots a weighted ball because he's always missing floaters short every time.
It does look like he shoots a weighted ball. It looks like he dribbles a weighted ball.
And his shot release is scary. I don't think any shot's going in when he shoots it.
It doesn't have like he just kind of flings it. He doesn't have like a shot that really follows through towards the basket. He just kind of like flings it, and wherever it goes is where it's going. It's either going in or it's clanking, but Joel Embiid on his lofty goals for the remainder of his career. I want to be considered the most skilled player ever, especially for my size. I already think he's the best. I already think he's the most skilled player ever for his size. Like if people are, when he wins a ring, he could be in that conversation. I'm not talking about accomplishments. I'm talking about just straight up skills with a basketball at 7 feet 280. He said that his size is 7'2", 600.
That's crazy.
I think he's the most skilled 7-footer to ever play, like skill-wise. Like nobody's doing double behind the backs, through the legs, step back, spin moves. Like nobody's doing what he does with a basketball at that size. Nobody.
All the old heads are gonna get mad.
And this is why we love Joel Embiid right here. He drops 26, 9, and 7, and he doesn't come out and say to reporters, how many points did I have tonight? What did the other team do? Did we win? He doesn't get defensive. He straight up says, I was terrible tonight, so I can't wait for the next game so I can try to do better.
He's just so perfect.
What a perfect player. Oh, my God. What a perfect player. Ben would be up there like, how many assists did I have? He scored 25 points in 16 straight games, second longest streak in 76ers franchise history. Allen Iverson had a 27-game streak in 2001. Wow. And that was Allen Iverson was also the MVP in 2001, the scoring champion in 2001, and took Aaron McKee and Eric Snow and a bunch of nobodies to the NBA Finals, and won a game against Kobe and Shaq and one of the greatest teams of all time. So for those that didn't see my top 10 list, there's a specific personal reason for me that Allen Iverson is on there. And I don't care what anybody says about it. But maybe Joel can break that 27-game streak.
Who has a better Raptor, Embiid or Iverson?
Exactly. That's the thing. It's not about the eye test and who had scoring streaks and who. It's about what about like efficiency in certain moments, in certain minutes, in certain like PER and adjusted box plus minus. Like, oh, God.
I don't care that Joel wasn't efficient tonight. I want him shooting those shots. I don't care.
Right. That's that you can like. Advanced analytics can be completely destroyed if you just look at Ben Simmons in the Atlanta Hawks series last year. Like people were stretching advanced analytics to tell me he created 70 points of offense. He had this many assists. He create. So we're not even talking assists. Again, we're talking about if he draws the defense and kicks it to the top of the key and they swing it, that's 3 points that Ben Simmons created. So now you're just adding every point that we score. It was created by Ben Simmons because he started with the ball. It doesn't make any sense, but it's stretched so far because people just want to make a player look like something they're not. As far when it comes to those Ben Simmons defenders that did that kind of thing.
It pisses me off how Embiid got COVID because we'd probably be first in the East if he didn't. I mean, we were only 2 games back and 3-8 without him. I mean,
listen, and we're still without Seth Curry right now and Shake Milton. So
and Thybulle was out.
So right now we're still out those guys. And we started the season 10-2 with a healthy roster. Do you think maybe we're underrating the Sixers when they're entirely healthy?
No. I think it's just Embiid because the common denominator is that when he's in the lineup, we're really fucking good. But when he's out, even if Matisse is out and Embiid's there, we're fine. We don't really miss him. I mean, Seth Curry's been out. I'm not going to lie. I I haven't really said to myself, "Oh man, I miss Seth Curry so badly right now." I haven't really said that, to be honest. Shake Milton's been out. Honestly, I've been missing Shake Milton just because we have no scorers off the bench, but we don't need him per se. It's just that we need better role players around Embiid than what we have. And then you could say, yeah, we're underrating them. But right now, we just got a bunch of inconsistent players besides like Seth Curry, Maxey. Yeah, Seth Curry and Maxey, really. So I don't think we're underrating them. I just think Embiid's that good.
Bobby, you trying to call him, man? Go ahead and call him, man. My bad. I actually nothing was happening. I just restarted the app because it wasn't ringing. But I think he's saying that he was trying to call in. I don't know. Embiid, Maxey, and Thybulle are the only players that are good on the Sixers. Everyone else can and should be traded.
I mean, just this Thybulle love in this fan base. It's just crazy.
Listen,
they love Thybulle.
Of course, it depends who you get back in return, but I think Maxey and Thybulle are both also tradable for the right player. For the right player, it would have to be Dame. It would have to be James Harden. It would have to be Jaylen Brown. I don't even know if I would give up Maxey or Thybulle for Jaylen Brown. I would give up one of the two for Jaylen Brown.
I would just love to see what Embiid would look like with an elite coach like Eric Spoelstra, Ty Lue, just someone who would be creative. Because I feel like, I don't know, there's just no creativity in the offense. And I feel like Maxey, if we had a better coach, would be used better and more a part of the offense. I just want a better coach, to be honest.
Maybe we'll get lucky this year where we like overperform and then we lose because it's like obviously Doc Rivers' fault. Maybe he'll finally get exposed and fired, but I don't know, man. How long have we been up here?
Hour 10.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for hanging out with us. 242 people still in the chat. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button on the channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of these. This game wasn't even really anything to talk about once LeBron James wasn't in the game. Wasn't going to play. The Lakers are bad with LeBron James. So, but I do think it's nice that the Sixers won the game without too much drama, like, blowing a lead, making it close or whatever. So that's an improvement. And I think Matisse Thybulle and Danny Green and George Niang making shots off the bench, and those guys helped out because Embiid wasn't having a 50-point game. But improvement for me with us versus a bad team. We played down to opponents a lot. And really, outside of Anthony Davis, this is not a good Lakers team. So I think it's a good win. Final thoughts, Romp.
It was a good win. Yeah, hopefully Joel has a Dirk Nowitzki type run in him because that's what it will take.
That is absolutely what it would take. I agree. According to the Raptor metric, Van Vliet, Gobert, and Tatum are better than Embiid. My point exactly.
I don't even know. I still don't know what it means. And Swipe was explaining. I didn't understand it.
It's offensive.
I feel like I was in math class again.
It's like offensive PER and defensive PER combined. So, I mean, it's like offensive PER is what? Player efficiency rating. So it has to do with literally who's on the floor with you in certain lineups. It has to do with all kinds of stuff to measure how efficient a player is on offense and defense. But I'm like, listen, I'm watching a guy score 50 points. I'm watching a guy score 35 and 12. I'm watching a guy score 38 and 14. I'm watching a guy block shots at the rim when they're up by 22. He shouldn't even be in the game. He came back in that Magic game just to try to break his own record, and he blocked a shot on the other end for no reason. He didn't even have to do that. I'm watching things like that. That's why we call it the eye test. Like, we're just watching how great someone is. We're not looking at mathematics in the depths of the box score.
Those stats don't take into account, like, when Embiid is, not trying on defense, trying to save his energy for offense. It doesn't take into account for stuff like that. It's
Exactly. There's a lot of things that go into something, and just to pull out advanced stats, it's so misleading. It's so
it's
misleading.
crazy. And like I was watching, like Jokic has a crazy on and off, whatever they call it. And I remember watching a Denver Nuggets game, and they were up by like 25 or 30 points, and then he went out in garbage time, and they put in like the scrubs, and Denver scrubs allowed like a 15-0 run. So of course that's going to help Jokic's on and off stats, but in reality that doesn't matter because the scrubs were in at the time. It doesn't factor in those types of things.
Exactly. If you sit and the whole bench is in, and your team blows a 20-point lead, then you come. Yeah, you're look what they look like with them.
Yeah, but this was like the last 2 minutes. The game was over. It didn't matter.
That's a good point too. Exactly. That's garbage time. So how do you can you give me advanced stats minus garbage time? Because a lot of things happen in garbage time that shouldn't be part of a box score. That affects the advanced analytics. So
maybe they do take those things into account. We're just dumb.
Maybe they do. I don't know, but I've never heard of a Vorp or a Raptor. So
you should get a shirt. What the Vorp?
I'm gonna make a T-shirt. I think it's gonna just say, "Oh man, I gotta make a T-shirt that makes fun of advanced analytics." That's what I gotta do because that's the whole thing right now, right? Embiid versus advanced analytics. Yeah, what should it say? What should it say in the chat? If I make a T-shirt that makes fun of advanced analytics, what should it say? What it's oh yeah, maybe it's just gonna say, "Oh yeah, but what about your Raptor?" Yeah, Michael Jordan was great, but what about his Vorp?
Yeah, what's Michael Jordan's Vorp? Someone said in the chat that Alec Burks is better because he has a better Raptor than Luka Doncic.
Exactly, that's my point, man. Telling you, man. Blake Bortles had a higher QBR than Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady in 2017 or some bullshit.
Derek White is top 15 with Raptor.
Oh my. All right, let's look it up. What is Raptor? Here we go. What is Raptor?
Where's Embiid on the list?
Okay, here we go. Here, let's have a math class, everybody. Raptor, which stands for robust. Oh my God, this is actually what it stands for. Are you guys shitting me? No, there's no way this has to do with basketball. It does. I at first thought, okay, I gotta put this on the screen. I at first
robust.
I at first thought I pulled up like something from a science class and it had nothing to do with basketball, and it was gonna be like some like mathematic equation for like solving historic I don't know, like building like skyscrapers or something. No. Raptor stands for robust algorithm using player tracking and on and off ratings.
Jesus Christ.
Raptor stands for robust algorithm using player tracking and on and off ratings. Wow.
Did they have this stuff back in the day?
No, it's
when did this come around?
It's 538's new NBA statistic. Whoever the hell 538 is. Who's 538?
When did this get invented?
2019. The Raptor stat has been in existence for 3 years. Not even 3 years. I don't know what 538 is either. Now we're just pulling advanced stats out of whoever the hell wants to write one down. Second, and
we should make our own. We should make our own advanced stat.
So this website, 538.com, is the one that invented the Raptor stat? Robust algorithm player tracking on and off ratings? There's no way this is true.
We'll look up when was the Raptor stat invented.
I'm telling you, it was invented by this website in 2000. Well, this was written in 2019, but I don't know. There's just no way this is true. Okay, Let's read the second part. First, we wanted to create a publicly available statistic that takes advantage of modern NBA data, specifically player tracking and play-by-play data that isn't available in traditional box scores.
Oh,
All right, so this is not only advanced analytics. This is made up by somebody. It's not even on a box score. Second, and relatedly, we wanted a statistic that better reflects how modern NBA teams actually evaluate players. NBA teams highly value floor spacing, defense, and shot creation, and they place relatively little value on traditional big man skills. Raptor likewise values these things, not because we made any deliberate attempt to design the system that way, but because the importance of those skills emerges naturally from the data. Raptor thinks ball-dominant players such as James Harden and Steph Curry are phenomenally good. It highly values two-way wings such as Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. It can have a love-hate relationship with centers who are sometimes overvalued in other statistical systems, but it appreciates modern centers such as Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid, as well as defensive stalwarts like Rudy Gobert.
so it's basically the Raptors basically created for Nikola Jokic because he plays like a guard, and Joel plays more like a center.
A stat created for Nikola Jokic for his fans, for his fans to be able to say that he's the best in the world. Yes, it loves players like James Harden and Steph Curry. It has a love-hate relationship with centers who are sometimes overvalued and others overvalued. That's your opinion, right? And it appreciates modern. So yeah. So Raptor literally enjoys a center that plays like Steph Curry and James Harden and has a love-hate relationship with centers. So this stat was made for Nikola Jokic, and it was made to trash Joel Embiid. Wow. Okay, like box plus minus and real plus minus. What the hell is the difference between that? What's box plus minus and real plus minus?
Bro, this is like math class, bro.
Raptor is a plus minus statistic that measures the number of points a player contributes to his team's offense and defense per 100 possessions relative to a league average player. For instance, a player with an offensive Raptor rating of plus 2.1 boosts his team's performance by 2.1 points per 100 offensive possessions while he's on the floor. Likewise, a player with a defensive Raptor of plus 3.4 would improve his team's defensive performance by 3.4 points per 100 possessions while he's on the court. Again, you can't take into account certain things like possessions that the player might take off, possessions that the player might literally not be playing hard because he's trying to conserve his energy for the fourth quarter. There's so many things. I don't know look how long this is. I kind of want to read all of it because it's funny. Plus minus statistics have certain inherent limitations. Raptor is subject to those too. Namely, these statistics assume that a player's performance is largely linear and additive. That is, that you can roughly add up the ratings from individual players to project team performance. In other words, Raptor does not account for coaching systems or synergy between teammates. Raptor consists of two major components that are blended together to rate players: box score and on and off component, which evaluates team's performance when the player various combinations team. Yeah, I'm done with it. I'm done. I just want to watch basketball and see who the better player is. I just want to watch the game and say that guy was better than that guy. I'm done.
We tried to get into Raptor.
We gave it a shot. We gave it a shot, man.
It doesn't. It really. I don't even want to watch basketball anymore.
I don't want to watch basketball anymore. I'm just going to watch box scores, man, because Raptor's just way better than watching the game and seeing who's dominating. Raptor's way better.
That's crazy. It basically said it doesn't take into account any of the factors in basketball. That's basically what it said. It doesn't take into account the system team runs, how the culture of the team. It's like, that's insane.
Embiid had a higher Raptor than Jokic last playoffs. Exactly.
Raptor.
There it is, guys. There's
Jokic
your
got
science.
cooked in the playoffs last year. I'm just saying.
There's your math class for the day. I forget what it stands for. I was just going to try to say it. Real adjusted plus minus something about a player. I don't know. Whatever. All right, guys. Thanks for coming through. It's been real. Thanks for everyone with the super chat supporting the channel. Thanks for Aaron with the ridiculous $200 donation. Sixers beat the Lakers. We'll see you guys soon, man. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Turn your notifications on. Peace.